Hi, I know you're going through a lot of things just now as you prepare the world for change, and I'm in the future. I'm sitting in the year 2028, and I wanted to send you a message back in time to let you know that everything's about to get better and to have faith in your magnificence, because you can make this happen. You can pull the world together like it's never been done before, and you're about to do that. So whilst everything looks a little bit shadowy and dark at the moment, I want to let you know that there is incredible hope and incredible potential in who we are as a species. 2020 was seen as the year of light. You add 8 to that, you get 2028, and that's where I'm talking to you from. 8 is infinity. So imagine yourselves now, and you add infinity, which is the limitlessness of your potential to move forward. So in my time frame, we have the World Unity Collective. Was swept to power in all countries as a way to take the world into a whole new place and to take the power back to the people and away from those who perhaps work behind the scenes but aren't there in the foreground making the world happen. That's what the people have been doing for thousands of years. And the power has returned to the people now. All of the people that have been selected as the representatives of the World Unity Collective had to go through a certain threshold. First and foremost, they need to have a certain amount of ethics and integrity in all that they do. Secondly, they need to have a fundamental ethic of service to others beyond themselves. And thirdly, they need to have some sort of a track record in either humanitarianism or sustainability. So they're here for the world to be a better place. So that's their reason for being. And that's how we select our leaders now, looking at the consciousness of those things and how they come together. Leadership consciousness is what all of this is about. We have 2 groups that come together to form the World Unity Collective. We have the People Ambassadors, who are there to represent the people, and we have the Planetary Advocates. The 2 of them come together and they have conversations about what is good for the planet, what is good for the people. More often than not, we find that there is incredible synergies in an agenda that covers both. And these people lovingly put in place laws, principles, inspiring ethical approaches that have brought the people together globally. The Earth Restoration projects are well advanced. There was the People's Compensation Act that was put in place, and that meant that anyone who had profited from other people, if you like, mainly the billionaires around the world, they were all asked to donate half of their wealth to the Earth Restoration projects. We saw this as their humanitarian stipend, and it was put forward to them that 50%, they could keep the other 50% if they provided that 50%, rather than look at what would happen to them under the People's Compensation Act. They all, of their own free will, of course, donated. We now have 50,000 projects in 80 countries. It's created 750 million new callings. We don't call them jobs, we don't call them the careers, we call them callings now. It's a call of the heart to do something beyond yourself. So we move from one calling to another, and a whole series of these callings make your purpose for this lifetime. It's a beautiful way I look at our contribution to the planet and its people. Updates on technology. All the EMF devices will be retired by 2030 on the back of the new networking principles that came on the back of quantum computing called quantum networking. Basically what quantum networking does, it works where you are in terms of your own observer effect in your place in space and time. You can retrieve information from another place across time and space due to those unique coordinates using frequencies. And you're entangled with that other information anyway. So those principles have allowed us to replace all of the wireless type mechanisms and networks and everything that we had that were put in place in the 2020s. All of those will be gone by 2030. In terms of science, science has made incredible progress. We found that science had been a little bit, if you like, driven by agendas, by funding. Perhaps materialism had made its way in there. The science has now been evolved into the meta-sciences, which means that the world of things beyond what we can observe just through our 5 senses. We look at the metaphysical approaches and we look at the physical manifestation of those metaphysical principles and approaches. So we've got the best between the physical and the non-physical which is why we call it meta-science. The formal definition of meta-science is the logical application of consciousness in a quantum universe for the good of humanity. The World Health Index is in place as well. The first and foremost thing in the World Health Index, and we measure this in all parts of the world, the first foremost thing is children's state of being. We understand now that children are the future of the planet and they must be nurtured, supported and grown in ways that help them to discover more of who they are, help them to rise into their magnificence, and we look at their state of being. On top of that, we also look at lifespan, and we look at different health parameters that cover things like nutrition, drinking water, etc. in all parts of the world. Fluoride has been removed from all drinking water. Okay, so we only use clean water for all of our activities. Big changes in science as well with free energy, but perhaps I'll leave that for a conversation another time, and the agenda to retire all fossil fuels. The pharmaceutical industry was retired last year. We found that all of the compounded substance could be found naturally in nature through herbal remedies or other plants and medicines that were grown that could then be used that had no side effects. And the herbal remedies, what we call the natural medicines and allopathic medicine, have come together in a beautiful synergistic relationship that has found the best of both worlds. All of this has manifested, and all of this is what you have done. So I want to send back a message to you across time and space to say that we can do this, and we can set this agenda. We can move beyond the shadows that we see in 2020 and move into 2028 in a way that expresses our collective magnificence right around the world. And as we say in my times, may you be inspired by your own magnificence today and every day. Thanks for listening.